Your phone has been ringing. Someone you don't know is offering you cash for your house. Don't call them back yet, because what I'm about to show you in the next 8 minutes is exactly what those callers already know about your situation and what most Michigan homeowners in your position never find out until it's too late. My name is Ron Coleman. I work exclusively with Michigan homeowners facing foreclosure, both before and after the sheriff's sale. Michigan foreclosure filings are up 28% from last year, and where foreclosure rates rise, investors follow. They're organized, watching public records, and calling your phone on purpose. By the end of this video, you're going to understand what those investors already know about your equity and what options may still exist for you before any deadline passes. I also want to tell you about someone I'll call Mike, because what almost happened to Mike happens to Michigan homeowners every single week. And it changed the moment he got informed before he made a decision. This is not 2008, and your equity may be real. Let's start here, because I know what's going through your mind. In 2008, when the foreclosure crisis hit, most homeowners were underwater. They owed more on their homes than they were worth, and there was no equity to protect. The investors stepping in weren't taking anything from those homeowners because there was nothing left to take. That's not the case today. Today, many Michigan homeowners, including those with a sheriff's sale date on the calendar, have real equity in their properties. What that means in plain terms is this: if your home were listed on the market, sold at today's value, and those proceeds were used to pay off your delinquent mortgage, closing costs, and any other liens against the property, there may be money left over, and that money would go to you. That possibility is exactly why investors are calling, which brings me to what they already know and what I want to make sure you know too. What the people calling your phone already know. When investors call Michigan homeowners facing sheriff sales, they're not doing anything illegal. They're running a business. And I'm not here to badmouth anyone. Here is what those callers know that you may not. They've looked up your property and run the numbers. They have a sense, often a very clear sense, of what your home could sell for on the open market. And they also know roughly what you owe. The gap between those two numbers is your equity. In other words, that is your money. When an investor offers you $2,000, $5,000, or even $10,000 to sign a property over and walk away, that offer can feel like something very relieving. After everything you've been through, the notices, the stress, someone offers you cash, that could seem like a solution. What I want you to sit with is that they're offering you a fraction of what they know the equity may be worth, counting on the fact that you don't know the full picture. They will take ownership, list the home on the open market, sell it, satisfy the delinquent mortgage, and pocket the difference. That difference used to be yours. I'll say it again. This is business. It's nothing unethical or personal. They're offering you certainty, stress relief, and cash, which brings value to somebody who's under tremendous pressure with a short time frame to act. However, you need to know what the full picture looks like before you sign anything, because the moment you do, all your options are gone. If you know someone in Michigan who's been getting these calls, pause this video right now and send it to them. This may be the information they need before making a decision that they cannot undo. The critical recap of what happens before the sheriff's sale, after the sheriff's sale. In my last video, I walked through in full detail what actually happens after a Michigan sheriff's sale. If you haven't watched it, I'm going to link it below. Please watch it after this video. But let me give you the essential recap here, because there is one detail in particular that most people never hear. When a Michigan sheriff's sale occurs, it doesn't immediately end your rights to the property. In most residential foreclosures, you enter into what's called the redemption period. And here is what that means. You still have the right to live in your home. You're not required to make mortgage payments. And you may still be able to sell the property, and any equity that exists above what is owed, you may keep. The standard redemption period in Michigan is 6 months from the date of the sheriff's sale, and in some cases, 12 months. Now, here's the part almost nobody tells you. If you vacate the property, by that I mean move out, your redemption period drops from 6 months down to 30 days. Again, 30 days. That means if you've already left your home after the sheriff's sale, believing it was over, your window may be far shorter than you realize. Not 6 months, 30 days. Please share this video. Someone you know may have already moved out after a sheriff's sale and has no idea their window just became 30 days. This could change what they do next. If any of this describes your situation, go to DetroitForeclosureAvoidance.com and schedule a free confidential discovery call with me directly. I'll look at your dates, your equity position, your stage, and give you an honest picture of what still may be possible. No judgment, no pressure, and nothing to say. Again, DetroitForeclosureAvoidance.com. The link will be below in the description. Now, stick with me because I want to tell you what happened with Mike and how close he came to walking away from $31,000 that belonged to him. I call this scenario Mike and the Equity Trap. Mike called me in the middle of the week. His sheriff's sale had happened about 3 weeks earlier, and an investor had called him and offered him $5,000 to deed his house over and walk away. He saved the number on his phone, and he was thinking seriously about calling back, accepting the cash, and being done with all of his problems. He could get another place or apartment, and he would move on from there. When we talked, I asked him some questions about the property. We ran some quick numbers together. It turned out his home had approximately $44,000 in equity. The investor was offering him $5,000. Mike didn't know, he had no way of knowing, and nobody had told him. After months of notices and the court dates, with sleepless nights, someone offering him anything at all seemed like a good way out. We moved in a different direction and listed the property and got it sold quickly. Mike walked away with just over $31,000 after the mortgage was paid off and all the costs were settled. That was money he almost left on the table because he didn't know to ask the question before he made the call. Mike's story is not rare. It happens across Michigan all the time. And the equity trap is not a scam. It's a knowledge gap. The only way to close that gap is to get real information before you make a decision that you can't undo. What happens if you wait? I'll be honest because honesty is more important than you being comfortable right now. The redemption period ends. When it does, your rights to the property end with it. No appeal, no extension, no nothing. The equity that existed is gone, and it now belongs to whoever holds the title on the home. And if you vacated previously, remember, that's 30 days, not 6 months. The homeowners I've been able to help most were the ones who reached out when there was still time, not the ones who called me the week after the deadline expired. I can't do anything at all after the deadline. Nobody can. But right now, if you're watching this and you still have time to find out what your situation actually looks like, you should call me or schedule a call with me. Here's what I want you to take from this video. Michigan foreclosures are up 28%. Investors are calling, mailing, and knocking on doors. They know that equity exists. Now you know that too. In the last 15 years, I've worked with Michigan homeowners to recover hundreds of thousands of dollars in equity. You don't have to accept the first offer, assume it's over, or navigate this alone. Go to DetroitForeclosure.com, DetroitForeclosureAvoidance.com, schedule your free confidential call, and I'll give you an honest look at your specific situation, your equity, your stage in the process, with no pressure, no judgment. DetroitForeclosureAvoidance.com is in the description below. If this video helped you to understand something you didn't before, share it with someone else you know who needs it. You might be sending it to exactly the right person at the right time. My name is Ron Coleman, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll go deeper on how to navigate the redemption period day by day and what to do if your deadline is close.